This video will probably save someone hundreds of dollars or maybe even thousands, because what I'm about to show you proves that online casinos don't just take your money with their rigged outcomes. They actually influence your decisions, manipulate your emotions, and keep you trapped without even realizing it. I'm going to show you a series of videos that, in my opinion, make it look like online roulette is a complete scam. This isn't about you not being lucky. These platforms have their own ways to trick you and take your money. First, I'm going to show you some really obvious suspicious moments, and then I'll explain everything in more detail. Let's start with the first one. In this clip, the ball is rotating, and it's about to pass over numbers 28, 12, 35, and continue forward. But then something clearly pulls it back onto 28. This looks like an obvious scam. It's as if a magnet became active and sucked the ball backward, forcing it to land on 28. Now let's watch it in slow motion. Look closely at how the ball gets sucked onto 28. That doesn't look natural at all. It really feels like something is interfering with its movement. Let's take an even closer look and slow it down even more. Look! It's super strange, isn't it? In the last spin you just saw, you might think, it was only $128. Why would they rig the outcome just to take my $128? And also, what if landing on 28 would have forced the casino to pay out much more to someone else? We don't know what other players are betting. So yes, that's a valid question, and I'll talk about it in another video. But for now, let's look at more clips just like this. And in almost every one, the result goes directly against my bet. And the manipulation becomes so obvious. Now look at this one. Honestly, I don't even need to say much. The recording speaks for itself. The ball passed 36, moved across 7 more numbers, reached 24, and then suddenly, for no clear reason, reversed direction and landed back on 36. What do you think about that? Let's take a closer look in slow motion. Now it's even more obvious. Something pulls the ball back, reversing its direction and forcing it to land on 36. In this spin, I covered 26 numbers, risking $72.80. I lost, whether from pure bad luck or potential manipulation using magnets or other technology. There's no conclusion yet. But now, take a look at the next spin. In this spin, I covered 32 neighboring numbers on the wheel, $10 on each, risking a total of $320. Only 5 numbers were left uncovered. If this spin wins, the profit is $40, which would recover more than half of what I lost in the previous spin. But look at what happens next. The ball lands on number 1, the exact middle of the uncovered section. At first glance, it might not seem obvious. In fact, it looks almost too clean, subtle enough to pass as randomness. But watch closely in slow motion. The ball was clearly still moving forward, with momentum to continue. Then something interferes. It's pulled and stopped in a way that deserves closer examination. One more thing to note, and I'm not drawing any conclusions from this. In the second-to-last spin, the outcome was number 32, which was also the middle number among the 11 neighboring uncovered numbers. The real question is it always rigged? Does the casino actually need to rig every spin? Do they only manipulate the game when they detect something unusual? Is the built-in house edge not already enough to guarantee them profit over time? I'm going to answer all of these questions, but first, let's start with the last one. And I'll answer it with another question that will help you understand things more clearly. Is there any way to overcome the house edge? I'm assuming you already know what the house edge is, and I don't want to go deep into that topic in this video. I'll explain it fully in another video, so if you're interested, make sure to watch that one as well. So the answer to the question, can we overcome the house edge? The short answer is yes, in the short term. Can we extend that short-term advantage? Yes, as long as we control our emotions and stay disciplined. But can we beat the house edge long-term, repeatedly, over and over, ignoring table limits, balance limits, and all the other restrictions? No. The long-term answer is a big no. So then why would a casino rig the outcomes if they already profit in the long run? Because they are afraid of those short-term wins, especially when a player manages to extend them with strong discipline, emotional control, and smart strategy. Those moments are the casino's weakness, and that's exactly when manipulation becomes useful for them. There are many videos on my channel showing how online roulette tables appear to be rigged. But the real question is, why do people keep playing even when they suspect it's rigged? I think it's because many players believe, well, a number has to come out anyway, and if I bet on numbers that fewer people are choosing, I might still have a chance to win. In other words, they assume the casino and the player can profit together when certain numbers hit. That logic makes sense at first, but what I'm about to show you is that online platforms do something far worse. They're much more greedy than simply trying to profit from a single spin. If they tried to rig every spin, it would become extremely obvious, and sooner or later they'd get caught by any supervisory organization. So instead, they do something much smarter. They don't rig every spin. They actually mix in plenty of fair spins. In fact, the fair spins happen more often than the manipulated ones. But those few rigged spins, those are the ones that completely destroy players who are performing well, especially the disciplined players who stick to a profitable strategy. For example, in this video, let's assume the previous 3 spins were fair, and I simply lost out of bad luck. My strategy at that moment was to place $128 across 32 numbers, $4 on each number, to compensate for the last 3 losses. That means only 5 numbers were left empty. So yes, there was still a chance to lose. I knew that. But here's the key. They knew it too. And they also knew that if they rigged this specific spin, I would take a big hit. And that's exactly what they wanted. This shows it's not about rigging every spin. It's about targeting certain spins, the ones that completely break your strategy and wipe out your momentum. To conclude, in my opinion, online casinos target the players who perform well. They know your bankroll, and they can detect when your strategy depends on a recovery spin. All they need is for you to reach that vulnerable moment through normal bad luck, and that's when they can hit you the hardest. Every strategy, no matter what it is, eventually requires a recovery spin with a bet that's large compared to your bankroll. And that moment is exactly when you're exposed. Now add emotion and stress on top of that, and it becomes completely unfair. I highly encourage you to watch the creator's story. He performed exceptionally well at first, turning $30 into $1,800, and then making around $300 daily. And then, see what happened next.